1990 Reading Festival. I probably had 30 bands on the bill. I represented the Pixies, Susie the Banshees, Wonder Stuff, a bunch of artists. And Jane's Addiction was scheduled to play, and they were, I think, second or third on the main stage. They hadn't broken in the UK yet. They were breaking. We did a warm-up show the night before Reading in a club not much bigger than this office. It was 250 seats. And it was hot inside. Austin hot. Hot. And it was a great show. And then afterwards, we went home, stayed outside after the show, cooled down, Morning, Perry woke up, his voice was entirely gone. Like gone. So the band is devastated. It's the first big festival in England, breaking, now they gotta cancel day of show or day before. The guys who were, some of them were pretty bummed out. We tried to share our enthusiasm, and I said, guys, why don't we just do a version of Reading as your farewell tour and do a festival in the States? And they said, great, let's do it.
We were all just sitting around, like throwing out the names of our favorite bands, and people that we admired, and people we wanted to play with, and people that we thought would be a weird fit. And we were focusing on making the lineup eclectic.
We started right there. I said, listen, everybody pick a band. Okay, let's do this. And everybody picked their bands. And that was sort of, if you were going to say sort of seminal moments, sitting in that hotel lobby, actually writing down the first lineup's names. And I was off to go with the Pixies. They were opening for Bowie in Germany, and they were on the list, okay? And so I picked I believe, again, I could get this part wrong, so anybody else feel free to correct me.
Geiger had some names, and I was deep into Susie and the Banshees and like the goth scene, and Ice-T got on the bill. He put out a metal record, so he did half heavy metal and then half rap, which was just at the time almost inconceivable.
I believe Eric Avery picked the Butthole Surfers. I'm pretty sure Perry picked Ice-T. I'm pretty sure Dave Navarro and Perry picked Susie. I picked the Pixies and 9 Inch Nails. I think it may have been Perky that picked Rollins.
And then at one point, I think Perry and Ted Gardner, the manager, they said, okay, we're gonna do this Lollapalooza thing like Perry explained to you. You thought it was a good idea? I go, yeah, it'll be good. We want you to be the opening band on the first half. So I look at what that's going to be, and I'm honored. I thought to myself, half. If I'm going to go out there and knock myself out, I want the whole thing. Jane's Addiction's going to play the whole thing. I'm sure all the other bands are too. So I, rolled the dice, went, no, I either get the whole thing or nothing. And Ted and Perry went, well, all right, you got the whole thing.
Different bands were friends of ours, like, when Fishbone came out, like it was a natural fit because they were replacing Violent Femmes, who could only do part of the tour. So we called our buddies in LA and got Fishbone. 9 Inch Nails was one of those bands that were just breaking at the time.
Susie signed on, Trent signed on, Rollins signed on, Gibby and the Butthole signed on, Ice-T signed on, so we had the makings. This is no second stage, not this first year.
We were always good at breaking bands, and people wanted to work with us, and it was almost a rites of passage for a great young new group. The industry changed tremendously, and as you see now, we have to go back for our headliners. It has changed so much. As an example, year one, 7 groups, 1 headliner, and that headliner was good enough, even though that was a new group, budding group, to bring in 20,000 plus people. You can't do that anymore. A new group cannot garner that. So we have, more than any other festival, I would say, gone from 1 to not 2 to not 3. Most other festivals have 3 headliners. We have 6. That's just to make sure that everybody's happy.